The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it has traced a property worth 500 million naira, allegedly belonging to a former governor of Plateau State, Senator Jonah Jang. The properties are said to be located at numbers 8 and 9 on Gobarao Road, on Gwanrimi Government Reservation Area in the Kaduna State capital. In a statement by its acting spokesperson, Tony Orilade, the Commission explains that preliminary investigations revealed that the said properties were allegedly purchased from New Capital Properties Limited on behalf of Mr. Jang. The EFCC had on May the 7th, 2018, filed a 12-count charge against Mr. Jang for an alleged fraud amounting to 6.3 billion naira when he served as governor of Plateau State. Meanwhile, the former Plateau State governor, who is the senator representing Plateau North Senatorial District, has denied ownership of the said property in Kaduna. In a statement, media consultant to Senator Jonah Jang explains that this is not the first time the commission would investigate the ownership of the property. He adds, quote, "The property, formerly belonging to Northern Nigerian Development Company, Kaduna, was allocated to the senator while he was the executive governor of Plateau State, but eventually lost interest and did not continue with the acquisition." End of quote. He insists that the EFCC has this information and knows the actual owners of the said property, but that the anti-graft body has chosen to harass the senator in its usual media trials aimed at tarnishing his name and reputation. In the meantime, the senator says he will not honor the invitation of the EFCC to report to its Kano office on December 5, 2018, and has written to it asking for another date in January 2019. Mr. Garba says the senator is under trial in Jos, the Plateau State capital, having been charged to court by the same commission, and the matter is expected to commence definite hearing around the date of the invitation. Still on judiciary matters, the trial of an alleged fraudster, Fred Ajudua, on charges of defrauding a German national, Zaid Abu Zalaf, of the sum of $1 million was stalled today at the Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja. That's because the defendant's counsel was absent in court. The prosecuting counsel, Mr. Seiduate, told Presiding Justice Mojisola Dada that he had received a letter from the defense counsel requesting that the court vacate today and tomorrow, which had already been scheduled for the case. No reason was given in court for this development, neither were journalists privy to the contents of the letter. Justice Mojisola Dada subsequently adjourned till Wednesday, 5th of December, for continuation of the trial. Ajudua is currently being detained at the Kirikiri Maximum Prison after the court refused to admit him to bail. Now, the peaceful coexistence of all tribes and interests in Delta State continues to be a priority for the state government, and that's according to the state governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who was speaking through a representative at a rally organized by a group of non-indigens. The organizers said they were demonstrating their approval of the governor's developmental programs in Delta State.
Thousands of supporters, under the auspices of non-Deltan tribes living in the state, gather in Warri to drum up support for the Governor Ifeanyi Okowa-led administration. They also applaud the governor's human capital and skills acquisition initiatives aimed at reducing youth unemployment and restiveness in the state.
Because of the peaceful atmosphere of the state for the past 3 years, we transact our business with free and open mind, no intimidation. We go to our beds, we sleep peacefully, no harassment or whatsoever. And we look that a kind of government like this don't need any change.
The dividends of democracy, he has brought it to the grassroots, also to all the creeks, the infrastructure you want to call, human development.
Expressing confidence on his victory at the polls in 2019, Governor Okowa, who was represented at the event by the commissioner representing Ijo ethnic nationality at the Sopadek, hopes to work with the structure on the ground to consolidate on the peace and unity that currently exists.
I believe that they will use these as structures and will continuously, by following them up, to ensure that come 2019, they will massively come out to vote.
As the 2019 elections draw closer, many Nigerians have expressed concern over peaceful and credible polls. Stakeholders in Delta State have also keyed into these concerns to maintain peace and stability throughout the whole process.
Well, that's it from Abuja. It's back to you, Gimba.
Brilliant. Many thanks indeed, Terry. His Love Foundation, the global charity arm of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, is set to feed 50 million people worldwide this December as part of its Christian social responsibility. Announcing this in Lagos, the Special Assistant to the General Overseer of the Church of CSR, Pastor Idowu, says that the feeding program is one of the 6 core areas covered by the Charity Foundation.
Members of the press meet with the leadership of His Love Foundation of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The purpose is to formally present this global charity arm of Redeemed Christian Church of God to the world and share insight into some of their activities. This is done by the team lead, Pastor Iluyomade Idowu.
So this organization, this foundation, is going to be active in 197 nations of the world where Redeemed Christian Church of God has footprints. And the total number of people that have been impacted is 11,284,128. 11,284,128 people. And we have been operating in 36 states of Nigeria plus the FCT.
With over 30,000 projects in its kitty and 7 million meals already provided since March this year, the team is set to take on a greater task this December.
This bag of rice, we'll be distributing it in hundreds of thousands for people as part of the package for Christmas. So the totality of what we're going to do all over the world in 197 countries is what will give us the summation of the 50 million people that will be blessed by the feeding during this December and the Christmas period.
Judging by the numerous activities already being carried out, which include 70,000 student scholarships, 292,000 free healthcare services, 7,000 rehabilitation cases, as well as over 99,000 prison inmates impacted, the roadmap for the feeding program appears sorted.
We have the logistics, we have the people who are already manufacturing and bagging the rice, and we have the logistics, the way to truck them to the various centers. So I think everything is going on pretty well.
His Love Foundation is a culmination of RCCG's Christian social responsibility, which according to the church is here to stay.
Let's quickly switch over to business news now with Emana Amawe.
Business news. The Securities and Exchange Commission has officially launched its rules for the issuance of green bonds in Nigeria's capital market. The SEC, in a statement, says the release of the climate bond principle is a significant milestone to complement efforts by government, regulators, and the financial services industry in attracting foreign investment into the country. The statement further explains that the new guidelines are prepared in line with leading international standards to provide confidence for local and foreign investors as it brings more clarity for the issuers of climate bonds. And Qatar's energy minister says the country would leave the 15-member Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries on January the 1st, 2019, and focus on gas production. The decision comes just days before OPEC and its allies prepare to hold the much-anticipated meeting in Vienna, Austria, to decide oil production output. The new decision means that the country could focus on strengthening its position as the world's top liquefied natural gas exporter. Qatar, one of the smallest oil producers in OPEC, has been an official member of the organization since 1961. The country has denied speculations that the move is connected to an 18-month-long diplomatic dispute with Saudi Arabia. Nigeria's stock market commenced the first trading day of December with a negative close after Friday's brief rebound on heavy sell pressure from the Nigerian insurance sector. Chimezie Obiwago has details of today's trading.
Thank you, Imana, and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The negative sentiment that have trailed the equities market for some time now enters a new month. The all-share index closed in the red today, down 0.24%. On the sectoral indices chart, 3 out of the 5 major sectors we track made the losers list. The insurance sector was heavily beaten, no thanks to the insurance big boys and the likes of Continental Reinsurance, Lasaco, and AXA Mansard, which dragged the sector down by almost 5%. Amongst the gainers, the 2.7% gain by the oil and gas sector was majorly contributed by Seplat, which added 24 naira 5 kobo to a share price shortly before the close of trading. Similarly, the banking sector was majorly driven by the likes of Zenith Bank, GT Bank, and FBN Holdings. In 3,122 deals, investors managed to churn out a little over 2.7 billion naira for 249.7 million shares. And for most traders, their exclamation is, what a way to start December. But they are hopeful things might turn around before the start of Yuletide festivities. And that was the Stock Market Report. I'm Chimezie Obiwago. Back to you, Imana.
Thank you, Chimezie. Meanwhile, U.S. markets ended the day's trading session over an hour ago, all in green, as investors chair the 90-day agreement between the United States and China to suspend the trade tariffs. It's also a similar picture for other leading stock markets. Here are some of the closing numbers. And that's Business News Tonight. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Imana Amawe.